All right, all you animation fans. So, as most of you know, a third Incredibles film has been confirmed. Unfortunately, it's not coming out till 2028. Maybe, possibly, if we get lucky, they might release it in 27. But either way, we got to wait a long time. Now, I got some interesting stuff to talk about in regards to this film. More so the numbers and the stats regarding like as far as budget, box office, and where it ranks at on certain charts. So before I get into all that, let me just say this. Prometheus Media gave this movie an 80%. The second film picks up where the first film left off, with the Parr family needing to rescue the city of Metroville from its newest threat, the Underminer. The Underminer, who's voiced by John Ratzenberger. But instead of being grateful for the Super's help, the Metroville authorities resent the Incredibles and their good friend Frozone for being destructive. Telecommunications CEO Winston Dever and his tech genius sister Evelyn offer the Supers a chance to make themselves relevant and indispensable again. Winston convinces Elastigirl to wear a new suit outfitted with a body camera so everyone can see how much she does for the community. As Elastigirl tracks down Screenslaver, a mysterious new villain who hypnotizes people, Mr. Incredible stays home to take care of the kids. Moody Violet, who's dealing with her first broken heart, Spirited Dash, who needs help with his homework, and Little Jack Jack, who suddenly comes into some super potent powers. And by the way, you know what's funny about this? The baby has more powers than the other four family members combined. I mean, each of them has one power. The baby has like, let's see, he can clone himself. There's the eye laser. He can phase through the thing and set himself on fire. And uh, what was the other one? He can kind of inflate himself and so I'm like, he's got more powers than them. That's what's crazy about it. Phases through objects, like intangible, kind of like Danny Phantom is intangible, phasing through solid objects. And I'm like, that's something right there. So, is it any good? Well, here's what they say. This is the rare sequel that lives up to everyone's massive expectations and delivers as much of the joy and adventure as the original. Some critics and fans initially questioned the need for a sequel to The Incredibles, especially one that took more than a decade to arrive. Milner, who replaces Spencer, what's his name? Huck Milner. Huck Milner, who replaces Spencer Fox as the voice of Dash, wasn't even alive when the original came out. Wow, that's a fun fact. I wonder why Spencer Fox was replaced. But director Brad Bird has struck magic again with his exploration of contemporary family life via superheroes. The second film puts Elastigirl in the spotlight, showing the many challenges involved with balancing work and home, even when you have superpowers. The way she worries and feels guilty about missing Jack Jack's first powers emerging is as relatable and believable as Mr. Incredible's frustration while trying to figure out modern curriculum math when he sits down with Dash to help him with his homework. As the saying goes, it's funny because it's true. Michael Giacchino, Giacchino. Okay, I know I butchered that name. I probably didn't pronounce it correctly once in any of those three attempts. Michael G's jazzy score and the movie's vibrant mid-century modern designs are endearingly retro, but Incredibles 2 is simultaneously current with its depiction of technical advances, body cameras, navigation trackers, etc. But ultimately, it's the characters that viewers want to see more of, and they're all lovably back, including crowd favorite fashion designer Edna Mode, who again steals scenes during a hilarious bit in which a desperate Mr. Incredible asks her to babysit humorously out of control Jack Jack. Frozone isn't in many scenes, but has some great moments. As for the new characters, Keener in particular is fabulous as the mysterious, gravelly voiced Evelyn. Her conversations with Holly Hunter's Elastigirl are well done and fraught with tension. Brad Bird is a keen observer of what it means to be a part of a close and happy family, so this sequel will make audiences laugh, think, and hopefully appreciate their parents and siblings. Now, here's what I really want to get to before I get to even the matter of fact. Oh dang, where's it at? Did I lose it? Hold on. I must have accidentally lost it. I'm not sure how I did that, but so as far as the ratings on the movie, Letterboxd gave it 3.4 out of 5, which is 34 out of 50, which is 68 out of 100. So 68%. Internet Movie Database gave it 75. Google users gave it 86. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 93. And as I said, Common Sense Media gave it 80. I think 93 is the most accurate on that one because I personally would give this film a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. I would say that the film was almost perfect, but at first I was kind of conflicted between both films. And I said, there's just something in the back of my mind that's telling me that the original film just somewhat barely edges a little bit. It wins just a little bit because I did give the film a 10. This one I can give a 9.5. Now, so here's another fun fact. Out of all, I looked on Wikipedia, of all the animated films of all time, this one actually made the list of highest grossing. So when you look at the top, like for example, it's got like the top 50 highest grossing animated films of all time. And this film sits at number 7. The budget on this film was 200 million. The box office was over 1.2 billion. And I got to tell you, I didn't even know that until a couple years after I saw the movie in theaters. I didn't even anticipate that. Maybe they didn't anticipate it either, but there's no way I thought it was going to get over $1 billion. The first film got 630 million. And you know what they say, most of the time people don't give sequels a chance. So if I had really thought about it at the time and if I had put much thought into it, I would have said it's probably going to make about as much as the original, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less. It can get anywhere from like, you know, 500 million to maybe 700 million. I didn't know they were going to do over a billion. So that was great ratio, budget to box office ratio right there. That's a great, massive success. So this film sits at number 7, with 6 being the first Frozen, 5 being Super Mario Brothers, 4 being Frozen 2, 3 being the 2019 Lion King, 2 being Inside Out 2, and number 1 is a recent movie that just came out called Neja. I don't even know how to pronounce that because I literally just heard of this movie before I started recording this video. It's N-E space Z-H-A. Is that Neja? 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 I feel like it's either Neja or Neja or Neja. It's something like that. I don't know. I literally just heard of this. Apparently, this film came out in January. I don't know. I guess it was released in. It was in China, but for it to only be. But I don't know. I gotta look into that one later. But so yeah, Incredibles 2 is in the top. Uh, it's number 7 on the list of highest grossing animated films of all time. So and I gotta say, this film was, I think part of the reason why I'd say I give it a 9.5 and not a perfect 10 is because one, I will admit it was slightly less funny than the original film. I mean, there were some moments where you could chuckle or some laughable moments, like I would say closer to the beginning. But nevertheless, it was, I like the fact that it was literally just directly a continuation of the first film where the scene that took place at the closing scene on the first film is exactly how it what started the second film. Now granted, the other, I would say, a downer of this movie is, and I haven't seen this too much especially with animated movies, but the villain that they were facing in the beginning, the Underminer, he ended up getting away. He was only in the movie for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and they fought for a bit. He escaped, and of course the heroes were being yelled at by the stupid authorities and cops or whatever. But I'm like, okay, it probably would have been a little bit better if they got him in this. But who knows? Maybe it's possible that they plan on getting. They might get him in the third movie, and then they have to deal with another villain, or maybe he just at large and gets away. I don't know. So that's my take on the film. So I give this film a 9.5, and both films are obviously available to watch on Disney Plus. I did see this film in theaters actually, and I'm glad I did. So hey, show this to, you know, your young ones if they hadn't seen it. You know, if you got little siblings or little kids or whatever, and just tell them like, hey, this is what we watched. I definitely would recommend this. So, Incredibles is definitely one of my, like I said, it's in my top with animated films of all time. Definitely in my top 10. It's right up there with Madagascar, Ice Age, Shrek, movies like that. So, that's that, and I can't wait for the third film. Please subscribe to my YouTube, and if you go to my About section, you'll see the links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky. I got a lot more movies coming for you. Stay tuned.